Ladies and gentlemen, it's another week. We got a lot of things to talk about in regards to, in my opinion, the best team in the NFL. I don't care about no records. I don't care about performance. Nah, those things do matter. I'm just kidding. But best team. Y'all break it down. Y'all know what we do. It's the season. It's real simple. We keep it real simple. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about news, updates, that kind of thing, roster moves, all that good stuff. We're gonna give you your weakest link, your elite performer of the week. We got two games, and then we always throw a little something there to break it up. Just to, what Will Smith say, just to break up the monotony, all that good stuff. So look, I'm not gonna bore y'all. No, I'm never bored. Remember that. We're gonna get the crew in this joint, and we're gonna make some things happen. Wyatt, what up?
It's going on cool. It's going on Eagle Nation. Sitting at 2-1, should be 3-0. That's a different story though. We here to talk about all the Eagles news and stuff going on. A lot of talk about this week, especially after this last game.
Yep. We got Eagles Diva. I like that background.
You know it. Gotta pay
Pretty
homage to my
clean.
boy. Y'all seen what happened, so we gotta talk about that. But ready to talk about this roller coaster of a game, another heart attack for the Eagles fans and all Philly Nation. So ready to get into it.
And joining us this week, she in the building. Y'all know
You
her as
might catch
Key.
it once a year, once a season.
Key in the building.
What up, yo? What up? What up?
Yeah, if you know anything about Eagles sports, you dug into Eagles sports, and what Eagles talk in the Philly area, y'all know Key is. It's not playing no games. Key, we glad to
I,
have
I,
you in the
I
building.
ride past that stadium every day, and I shake my head in disgust sometimes. But
Uh, Trust me, I look at all my Eagles gear stuff and shake my head and discuss sometimes. So I feel you.
Facts.
I don't have the option to ride by every day. You know what I mean?
Man, y'all better be glad I don't got the option to ride by every day, because
I
I'd be
mean,
yelling and
we live
screaming.
15 minutes away from the stadium.
I'd be out there with a sign every morning talking about fire Nick Sirianni every morning, all day. That'd be my job.
Benny Boom is in the building. Benny says, "Oh snap, Key is in the building."
What's
You
going
know
Benny
what I'm
on,
knows
saying?
Benny?
what's up.
Benny!
This is a special attraction. You know what I'm
What's up,
saying? This
Benny?
ain't no every week, every month type thing. Where you can get Key in the building. All right, y'all. I know what it is. We keep it real consistent, especially during the season. So y'all know where we starting off at. And y'all know since it's the regular season, we even gonna throw it up there for you. Updates. Wyatt, what you got for us?
Yeah, got a couple roster moves here. We ended up bringing Jack Stoll, tight end, back onto the active roster, and also signing John Ross, who was with us throughout training camp. We signed him to the practice squad as well because we put Britton Covey on the IR, as a lot of people should know as of right now. Britton Covey had, I guess it's a fracture in his shoulder area. I guess it's not his collarbone, I guess, but it's in his shoulder area. Out at least 4 weeks in the IR. They're saying about 6 weeks in total. That's a big blow to our wide receiver core, especially with AJ and Smitty down as of right now.
Oh yeah. Couldn't happen at a better time. Mm,
Yeah, I was worried about
dry.
that early bye week when that schedule released, but it's coming at the perfect time as of right now.
Actual. Got a few people out. After dang old team went down.
Yeah, Lane Becton, I guess, is going to be back. He's just going to be wearing like a cast on his hand or something like that, but he'll be back. Lane's in concussion protocol, but he was working off to the side during practice today and everything. AJ and Devontae weren't there, but Lane was.
I don't
Yeah.
expect Devontae to be there. Devontae got jacked up.
Yeah.
My boy
I
was
don't see the way
unconscious on the day.
Devontae would be able to make it out. It would be miraculous if he does. I wouldn't be mad, but it would be a miraculous act. My boy is able to make it back onto the field this week.
Mm-hmm.
Any other news, Wyatt?
Not really. Just like the practice report that came out, as far as, like I already mentioned, AJ, Lane, and Devontae out. Mekhi Becton and Landon Dickerson were limited, and Darius Slay, even though he got kind of banged up on that one hit during the game, he was a full participant today. But those are really the only injuries and practice moves and practice squad updates.
Oh, the Saints player did get fined though for that hit.
Listen, he should have got suspended like the Chargers player
That
did.
should that
for a
should that,
game.
that should have been a flag, but we're not gonna talk about that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, pretty much, man. It's been crazy, y'all. So Benny says, I guess it's time for me to join the party before the season is over. Man, Benny, stop playing. Say less. You know you playing. Philly
What up,
Philly says,
Billy?
what's going on, Eagles fan?
What's
Philly,
going
Philly.
on?
Philly? So anybody else got any other news before we move on?
No.
Now, we don't even want to waste the time on news. We want to save it for the other stuff. That's fair. I can rock with that. So, y'all know where we're going next. I kind of don't even want to go there because there's too many options. Well, there's some options, let me say. But the weakest link. Key, you are our guest. Our residual guest, I guess you want to call it, but you're our guest. You first. Who's your weakest link of the game?
And call this man by his whole government. Nicholas John Sirianni.
Ooh.
Can't argue with
Who's your
that.
weakest link? Enough said. Ain't got to go into why. Y'all already know.
All right, Diva. Who's your weakest link?
Nick, man.
Hmm?
Goofball Sirianni. Gonna be my weakest link. Goofball.
Why? Who's your weakest link?
Man, before these two took him, I was going to say Nick, but I'll say for like the third week in a row, Bryce Huff. Dude has been invisible.
Ooh.
So
You know what?
The
He was
90
so
hour.
visible, I forgot he was on the team. Wow.
Bruh.
That's a good one.
The 90 awesome wild of the Byron Maxwell.
Listen, we traded Reddick for this stuff, man.
All right, we got Sam says, "What's up, everyone?"
What up, Sam? When you gonna join, sir?
Man, I ain't even doing that with that dude. Benny says Nick is the weakest link. I figure it. I feel you, Nick.
Facts.
So I have two. So the first is the strength and conditioning staff, and the other one is Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Alexander Hurts.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna do the full name, but I knew that Diva was gonna drop.
No, we're gonna do it. He deserved that full name. I was hollering his full name.
All right, and then we're gonna swing it around because you know we got the weakest link. Elite performance of the game. Key, who is your elite performer of the game?
Well, we all know it's Barkley, but I'm not going to say him.
Okay.
I'll go with my boy, Mr. White Chocolate, Mr. Reed Blankenship, with the seal the deal pick.
Like it. His second seal the deal pick too. Diva?
Mr. Fred Johnson, who came in for Mr. Lane Johnson. Boy, balled out. Boy, I'm trying to tell you, Fred is my performance of the game.
I can dig that. All right. Wyatt, who you got?
Those are great picks. I'll go with one of the more obvious ones everyone was talking about. I'll go with Jalen Carter. His talents were on full display this week. He was a menace to that Saints offense.
So I'm gonna go with Jalen Hurts. You might ask, how is he your weakest performer and your elite performer? That's a very good question, and I already have an answer for you. First half, Jalen, weakest link. Third quarter, Jalen, okay, a little bit. Fourth quarter, Jalen, elite. What I need is fourth quarter, in the third, fourth quarter, Jalen in the first quarter and on. What I need is two things from my QB. Don't throw the ball to Devontae Smith in an A.J. Brown situation.
Right.
And number two, hold on to the dang ball. You got the same amount of picks as Patty Mayo, but you got 2 fumbles in 3 games.
Man, protect
2
the ball.
lost fumbles. You got 2 lost fumbles. So come on, Jalen. We got to tighten that up. We can't have another season of this. You can't be the reason we don't get where we're supposed to go. Because then we got to turn on you. And I don't want to have to do that, but
Nope.
Don't make me. There's team over Jalen, so don't make me. All right. E-Money in the building.
You can say an honorable mention Dallas Goedert.
Bird.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
E-Money also says, "Hey, Eagles Week podcast."
What's going on?
And then Benny says the city of Philadelphia is making noise about Nick sabotaging the offense. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, so I'm glad you said that. Key, you were saying Dallas Goedert?
Honorable mention, yep.
Yeah.
I got
if he get that
David.
trail off his back, he could have had a touchdown.
But you know,
that boy is slow. Did y'all hear Milano mic'd up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's slow. Goddard always been slow.
My lot is wild, bro.
He ain't tell no lies though.
Nah.
I was like, "Oh my god, you too slow." I was like, "That was a touchdown." Turn on the Jets.
I might could have scored a touchdown on that one.
Man,
Come
we
on,
all
Dalvin.
right.
I didn't say for sure. I said might. So don't be trying to look at me funny. I said might.
My other honorable mention would be Jordan Davis. He finally got a sack, so people could shut up. Stop talking about my boy.
Yeah, Jordan showed up.
Dang. That boy alone.
That defense showed up. They looked a lot better.
Well, Vic Fangio did say he want to stop the run before the blitz, so I guess.
Did do that.
He made an adjustment and it worked.
It's crazy to actually see adjustments from week to week with this team. It's been a while.
No lies there either. All right, so we've already talked about our strongest and our weakest, and some honorable mentions for strongest because we did play pretty solid on the offensive. I mean, on the defensive side, and not bad on the offense, just play calling issues that were definitely acknowledged in the weakest league. So y'all know what it is. Week 3 review. Game against the Saints. Key. What did you see?
Besides
like?
the heart palpitations and the blood pressure cuff that I needed, and the whole meds and a shot afterwards, not even gonna hold y'all. And my pick'em didn't pick us to win this game only because of what I saw last week against Atlanta. I was like, if he going burn us for 70-yard, I just didn't like what I saw in an Atlanta game. So I wasn't feeling too confident bringing it into this game. I'll be wrong when I admit it. They proved me wrong, and I'm glad we got the win. But I did pick the Saints. But anyway, first half it was 7-3, I think, or was it 3? It was. I know it was low scoring half, and I'm sitting here like, no, we're not doing this again. Take the dang on points, Nick. What are we doing? Why are we leaving points off the board? If we would have kicked the field goal last week, we'd been 3-0 right now. So I just don't understand why we're not taking the points. But offensively, we couldn't get it done, and I was afraid. I'm just like, the defense is going to do so much; they're going to be gassed. So I needed the offense to pick up. Second half, they turned things around. That beautiful run by Saquon Barkley, 62 yards, broke things open. Jalen Hurts with that game-winning drive. Dallas Goedert was wide open for some reason. God was like, here you go. He had his jersey on last week. And Dallas Goedert was open. Jake Elliott missed. Jake Elliott shouldn't have been in that position to kick a 60-yarder. 60 yards? 60 yards? Come on, we know Jake's our boy, but 60 yards? You trust him with 60 yards? I'm just glad we got this dub because my rant could have been worse. But I shouldn't be this stressed at 2-1. Let's just say this: we was a stressful 10-1 team last year, and I shouldn't have been drinking. Each time my bottle just kept getting less and less. Last year, I gotta get a fresh one to get started. But overall, I mean, I like the second half performance. The defense played lights out, outstanding throughout this whole game. Jalen Carter got the pressure. Milton Williams has been stepping up the past couple games. Nolan Smith is coming into his own a little bit. We did hear his name being called, but Brian in the middle, Zach Bryan, I'm liking him as a linebacker. Dean N'Kobe, he's starting to show flashes as well. I said overall as a whole, that defense has been great and solid. Hopefully they keep this up. And I need second half Jalen to play all 4 quarters. If you play all 4 quarters and he doesn't turn the ball over and protect it, we golden. Golden playing, we can win any games in this league if he just protects the ball. He's like a basketball player. His dominant side is the right side. You force him left, things happen. So he has to protect the ball going to his left, or just don't roll out going left. But a solid performance. I'll give it a good solid A minus. Only because of that second half is what got us the dub. So great job on the defensive side. Just keep the defenses going, and the offense gotta score on possession so we don't keep the defense on the field so much, because other games is not going to be like the Saints game.
Why we're gonna go with you? I'm gonna go and we're gonna let Diva go last because I know Diva got some things to say. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning of the season, we always talked about how we're going to go as far as Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts takes us. And I think as long as Jalen plays turnover-free football, we'll be fine. I just hate the fact that it seems like Jalen excels when there's something that bad that happened, whenever he has to overcome something, whether it's a turnover or something, that's when he really kicks into gear and he becomes the Jalen we know and love. And I just wish we didn't have to have that every single week for him, to get his stuff right and actually go out here and play, mistake-free football. But I mean, Nick doesn't help in certain situations because, I mean, you look at this red zone offense, it should not be as bad as this is, especially when you have Saquon Barkley as your running back and you're not running it at all. You decide to keep passing, having these weird pass plays in the red zone when you don't have your full arsenal there. You're without AJ Brown, and for some reason you're deciding to pass more in these last 2 games. And then you're, especially when we're going to talk about, we're going in a week when we're really going to be depleted, you're going to have to go into the run. So what are you going to do then? I don't expect them to change it up, but it's so weird how you have all these weapons and you just can't scheme anybody open, or you try too much in the red zone. Like Jalen forcing that pass to Devontae in the end zone when it shouldn't have been. It's just these weird mistakes or just weird decisions, a situational play calling by the coaches. And then you have Nick saying that he's kind of inserting himself and picking some of these plays in certain instances. It's like, there's just too many cooks in the kitchen. This is what we talked about last year, why everything was being messed up. You brought Kellen Moore in as the offensive coordinator, let him call the plays. I understand if the head coach wants to make the decision whether you go for it on 4th down, but if you make that decision, let Kellen Moore pick the play for the 4th down. Like, you can't be just jumping in and picking whatever plays you want at any time you feel like it. You just need to be that cheerleader, that rah-rah dude, like you said you were going to be this offseason, because as of right now, it just seems like nobody kind of knows what they're doing in certain situations. Like, you decide to go for that weird, like, version of the brotherly shove where they, kicked it outside and they immediately knew what we were going to do. We ended up losing yards when, if you would have actually went for the regular tush push, I think you would have easily got that 1st down, or at least maybe another couple yards off of that. It seems, I don't know. It just seems like you could easily see what Benny was saying about Nick sabotaging the offense, because it feels that way. I just don't feel like Nick is smart enough to do that himself. I think it's actually him making dumb decisions because he thinks it's the right call. I mean, as far as the defense, Vic Fangio is actually just going out here and adjusting exactly what the offense should be doing from week to week. The defense is doing. And I think if the pass rush was able to do something, if these edge rushers were able to hit home, we would have a really solid defense, because it seems like the secondary is doing what's needed to them. The middle of that defensive line is doing what's needed. We just need Josh Sweat, Bryce Huff, some of these guys to step up and start getting these pressures and getting these sacks here. We can't be relying on Jalen Carter or Jordan Davis or even the linebackers to come in and get sacks at certain points. You need to have those edge rushers do something. We're going on 4 weeks into the season. We haven't seen much at all from them. So it's definitely telling. I'm definitely more confident about the defense after this game, but even with the offense, even with the injuries, it's hard to be confident. I mean, I like the plays that Kellen Moore seems to run, but you can definitely tell some of the, like, you can kind of look and see what plays that Nick may be picking within some of these games, because it just seems off at certain points. Like you have a solid drive up until a certain point, and then you have like a couple plays. Like, why would you even do that? Where did this come from? We were having a solid run here, and then all of a sudden, just it's turning into nothing. Like these weird screen plays or a QB draw here and there. I don't know. It just seems like they're second guessing themselves, and it's just like I mentioned over the past couple weeks. It seems like they're making it harder for themselves in the long run when they can make it very easy by just taking the points, like he was saying. I just don't understand what the thought process is behind the offense. It just doesn't make any sense from week to week. Like, how are you adjusting after looking at the tape?
All right, so I have a couple comments here. Benny says, y'all don't know that Key was the first to wear one of my Philly merchandise. Actually, we do, because you told us, sir. But she was. Benny also says, because Nick is sabotaging the offense, that's why we didn't go for the field goal. I don't think he's smart enough with Wyatt to say he really did it. You know, I have to agree with Wyatt on that one. Benny says, I'm very impressed with Zach Bond. How the heck, let him walk? They ain't know what they had because they know how to use him.
Mm-hmm.
Just like with CJ.
Yeah, so I'm going to keep it kind of short here. I'm going to say what Wyatt wanted to say, but it's too nice to say it. They call him stuff at times. Nick Sirianni looks like an idiot. Then he gets up there on the podium and says, it was my fault. It's my call. So, you guys can blame me for it, because I'm the one that made the call, and I'll be better next time. But better just means I'm going to do the same thing again because I'm too stupid to change. That's what he's saying. That's the AI.
More or less, yeah.
Also, my quarterback has got to do better with turnovers, right? I mean, I get we came back, we won, that's cool, but we need touchdowns early in the game. A lot of people believe and depend on you in fantasy as well, Jalen Hurts. So I'm going to need you to step it up. Get you some completions. Stop turning the ball over. If you're running to make a pass, bring the ball down or at least grip it good. They're going to force you to the left because they know you don't want to throw over your body to the right. So if you get forced to the left, that's okay. Stop, plant, and find somebody or throw the ball away. We don't have to have a 15-yard run. Throwing the ball away works too. That's better than a fumble. It's better than an interception.
You got to get rid of the pass that he holds on to the ball too long.
A lot of people say you can't read. It's not that you can't read. It's that you want to believe in everybody. I sit down and thought about it, right? He wants to believe in everybody. He wants everybody to make the plays. Instead of just saying, it doesn't matter, go with the ball. I think this week we're going to see a Jalen Hurts that has to just say go with the ball, and it's going to be better. But with the Saints game, defense dominated. Shout out to Vic Fangio and the defense as a whole. Even though Maddox played as a different player. He didn't like the dude that got bullied, beat up, and his head dumped in the toilet the first 2 weeks. So you got to shout out Vic for making the necessary changes. Defense looked really well against an offense that put up 44 points the week before. So very happy about that. And Key, you my peoples. But when you said I didn't pick the Eagles, I picked the Saints, this is what I thought.
Tell me he didn't just say that.
You know what I'm saying? But I picked the Eagles. I'm going to tell you why I picked the Eagles. It's exactly what happened in the game. You didn't have to worry about Shaheed if you don't allow him to get going. You stop him at the point. He wasn't catching 40, 50-yard passes. He was catching short plays and then running through the defense because the defense didn't adapt to what they do. Alvin Kamara, he had a good game. I said he would have a good game, but I told people, this man is an advanced age for a running back. He's not going out there and dominate like that again. And their defensive line, they will get some pressure on you. They will make it difficult, but their offensive line will let you in their backfield. You just got to make the play. People just hadn't been utilizing the weaknesses of the defense. And Vic Fangio, I feel like you watched our show last week, and you and I made some adjustments, and now, hey, look how we look. But all jokes aside, man, it was amazing to see us just come back. Not happy with a lot that happened in the game. Bad play calling, whole bunch of things. I don't want to take Diva's shine away, so I'm going to just stop there and just say we won the game. I can live with that. I don't have the same bad feeling in my gut that I had last year, but I don't feel good either. I feel a little restless, but I don't have that sinking feeling. So we'll see. Diva, the floor is yours.
I mean, the only sinking feeling I have is knowing that Nick Sirianni is still allowed to even be involved in this offense. We were told during the offseason that he would have nothing to do with game day preparation or play calling. And as we see, they are still allowing this man to sabotage the team, to make the team look bad in certain situations where we know we can score points, to even take us to the point where we're not scoring early because he wants to come in and be big balls and call these little cute plays that he think is going to get us some yards and end up getting us nowhere. You have Saquon Barkley, you have Will Shipley. And you have Gainwell, which he's been playing decent since he's been in. I do give him that. Especially in the red zone, Saquon should always have that ball. Every time we're in the red zone, you see the way that boy punched it in, not once, but twice on the touchdown. And then he did it on the 2-point conversion. I mean, just ran through, just bulldozed him and got him in. Okay. So I'm not understanding why we can't just depend on the run game. That could get us so much further, open up so much more of the field if you just depend on the run game. It's like when you see him, if he gets shut down, he might get 1 or 2 yards. Then you want to go ahead and go to throwing the ball. Like that don't always work. Especially when you got the one thing I need for my quarterback to do is learn how to release the ball. It's 1, 2, 3 release. If you don't see nobody open, tuck the ball and run, Jalen. Jalen will wait 1,000 years for somebody to get open before he throw that ball, and then he end up getting sacked, or he end up rolling back, and then we lose yards, or then he's got to try to roll out the pocket, escape, and then run and get a first down. Like, oh, that's too much. If you don't see somebody open, tuck the ball and run. Like we know you're a runner, so just tuck the ball and run. 1, 2, 3 release, or throw the ball. You see what I'm saying? Come on, Jalen, and stop rolling to your left. If you're not comfortable with that, then you need to roll forward, not roll to your left. Roll forward, move around the pocket, and get the ball out. Or like I said, throw it away or tuck it and run. Okay.
Well, we're
and
gonna throw it from the left. That would be helpful too. Thank you.
And you know good and doggone well you're not supposed to run with that ball as loose as you was running with. Come on, Jalen. You got to know better than that. You got to protect that ball. That ball should have been like this when you was running, just like you're a running back. Come on now. So I'm just upset that we can't never play a balanced game. Like either the offense is okay, the defense sucks, or either the defense is okay and they're doing their thing and the offense can't get started. Like, why can't we just have a balanced game where everybody started at the same time and we all rolling on all notches? So that game was really ugly. I mean, really, we should have been up by at least 20 points if we would have took the 2 or first the field goal. We would have ran the ball in, and he would have forced Jake to kick a 60-yarder. Like we know Jake kicked a 62-yarder year before last year he made it. That's not gonna always be. So why would you even put us in that position? If you would have ran the ball on 3rd and I think it was 3rd and 6 with Saquon, you would have had the first down. Like it's just common basic football sense. But because we got Nick Sirianni, the goofball, who thinks everything he do is cute and he wants to get all the credit for everything, that is what's hurting us severely. And I need for upper management to grow some balls and tell him to go sit down and be a cheerleader. That's what I need. Okay. All right. And then we could be the football team that we're supposed to be. All right, Jeff Lurie, if you're listening, please grow some balls and make him go sit down somewhere. All right. I'm done.
Well, with that being said, good people, we'll go ahead and take a commercial break. We will be back.
Cool McCain.
You thought you wanted Gunther against Chad Gable, but you didn't. And I'm going to tell you why. Chad Gable would take everything that Gunther's done and bury it.
The Playmaker.
It was on site. AJ Styles walked out there, seen LA Knight. Oh, okay. And then LA Knight hopped out the car. Let's go.
Break down everything in TNA, AEW, and all of the WWE programming. Join these two kings, monarchs of wrestling, live every Monday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central on the Play Caller Sports Talk YouTube channel. Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can beat up black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel. Drew Willingham.
In this case, yeah, you put the blame on Kyle Shanahan for apparently not preparing the team enough for the overtime rules, supposedly.
Cole Johnson.
Peyton was considered the winner, and he was the darling of all darlings for Gerald.
With a special appearance by Tyrone Alizé McDummy.
Ain't nobody calling me. Text. Delete! 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 Delete!
Join these two football enthusiasts as they give you Total Football Talk. Live every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central on the Sertoba Media and the Comey Media YouTube channels.
All right, good people. So we are back in the building, and I've got a question that I want to ask my panelists here, and also good people in the chat. You know what the question is? Can the Philadelphia Eagles win a Super Bowl? Nick Sirianni as our head coach, and Jalen Hurts as QB1. And I'm gonna tell you the background behind me asking these esteemed people this question. So since last week, all you've heard is one of two things: either it's Sirianni's fault or it's Hurts' fault. So I said, let's get me and my people's thoughts on this. Chucky, you're our guest. You automatically go first. Talk to us.
So I feel like we can win a Super Bowl with Jalen. Sirianni, I'm not so sure of, because that one bad play call could cost us a NFC championship or some type of playoff game to get us to the Super Bowl. So I feel like it's a yes and no answer. Jalen is very capable of getting us there. He had that great defense and offense that got us to the Super Bowl, and he outshined Patrick Mahomes even in the loss. But what I'm liking about Jalen right now is that one, I forget, it was last week's game against the Falcons that Sirianni said he didn't address the team, but Jalen did. So I'm liking his leadership that's he's stepping up, and he's smiling more. Thank God, because I know he all about business. I'm just like, you got to let loose a little bit, but it seems like he's having fun back there. When he does need a play, and he's smiling and he's laughing. I like to see that from Jalen. So I just feel like I don't think we can go back to the Super Bowl if Sirianni wants to be boneheaded and do goofy things. But Jalen definitely can get us there. It's just Sirianni. I think he's well out around his welcome now. I think he can go sit down somewhere. Your mama used to say, don't run in and out my house. If you come back in, you staying in, or you better stay outside. He better stay outside. He better not come back in. That's how I'm feeling about Nick right now. So you got an offensive coordinator. Please let him offensive coordinate. It's not like you got some new scrub. Kellen Moore ain't no scrub. He knows what he's doing. So this clearly shows that Sirianni didn't know what he was doing because we had Steichen and Gannon doing everything. He don't know nothing. He don't know nothing. So Howie, Jeff, I need for y'all to see how much he does not know, and just let him go. Just be done with it. But to answer your question, it's a yes or no answer.
Deal.
You ain't gonna win with Sirianni. We're just not. Unless there is a stop put to him being involved in that offense on any play calling. No. Now I can see Kellen Moore taking us to a Super Bowl. If he's actually calling the plays, because Kellen Moore knows how to run an offense. We've seen him do it at Dallas. We've seen him do it with the Chargers. So why not? Why would you bring him in and then still give Sirianni free reign to call any type of play when you watch the disaster of last year? He should have been fired in the offseason. But no. Howie had to take up for him. And you see that he's still involved in something that he doesn't know what he's doing. So I'm not understanding what is Howie seeing that he's still allowing, even Jeff still allowing this man to call plays. Let Kellen Moore call the plays. Let Kellen Moore develop his relationship with Jalen. Now, I heard Saquon Barkley talking about Kellen Moore. So obviously the team likes him. Let him call the plays. And I think, yes, we could win a Super Bowl as long as Kellen Moore has complete control over the offense and Sirianni has nothing. Like, please, Dom needs to keep him back there in the back. That man does not need to be on the sideline at all if he cannot learn to be a head coach and just sit there. Because most head coaches know how to call plays. We just happen to go find one who can't. Like, I think Chip Kelly can call some plays better than Nick Sirianni, and that's bad. Okay, that's real bad.
I call Cap on the same level.
Man, listen, I don't know about that. I mean, I don't. we played a little bit better with Chip Kelly calling plays than we did with Nick Sirianni. All right, but I mean, yeah, we can as long as Nick is not involved in anything. Yeah, we definitely can. As long as the defense keep doing what they're doing, and Nick's not calling anything, then yeah, we could definitely win a Super Bowl.
Wyatt?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with both Key and Diva here. I think Jalen can definitely go and win a Super Bowl. We've seen what he can do, especially like what I mentioned before. It seems like he thrives under pressure and in playing under adversity. He's always been like that. And I think he has everything we would need to take us back and win a Super Bowl. But it's like everybody was saying here, Nick can't be trusted. I mean, even if you go back and look at the Super Bowl that they were in, you could say, Jalen had the fumble. But I think the more important thing that happened was Nick Sirianni deciding to not go for it on fourth and what was it, 3 or something, toward in like the third or fourth quarter, when normally they would go for it. They decided not to, and they decided to punt, the only punt I believe in that game, and that most likely cost us the game because the Chiefs ended up coming back at that point. So I mean, you just can't trust not only his play calling when he decides to do this. We can't have him involved. We need Kellen Moore running the offense. Same with Shane Steichen did in 2022, but you can't even trust him just whether he wants to go for it on fourth or kick a field goal at this point. Like, what can this guy do? Why is he a head coach at this point? Like, what does he do that benefits this team so much? And like, if you have a dude that's just around just to hype up the locker room, that's not saying much, because I believe Kellen Moore could probably do that too, or somebody else. So like, what does he actually do from day to day? Is that the only reason they stuck him, like they brought him around, just so his deal was he could be the cheerleader, but also pick a couple plays here and there? It just doesn't make much sense. I mean, as long as Kellen Moore has free reign over this offense, I think we will be fine. But you can't trust Nick. And I think, like what Kia and Diva was saying, Laurie needs to crack down, or Howie needs to crack down and let him know, like, you need to stay out of this offense. Like, I understand if you want to try to talk about maybe going for it on fourth or kicking a field goal, but talk about that with your offensive coordinator. You shouldn't be the only one making that decision at this point, because you obviously can't be trusted. Like, why are you putting Jake Elliott in that position to kick a 60-yarder when you didn't want him kicking two previous field goals earlier in the game? Like, if he can't make those type of simple decisions in situational, games, like, how can you expect him to make those decisions in playoff format or on a Super Bowl? I don't know. I just trust Jalen way more, especially because he has control over that line of scrimmage. Like Dallas was saying after this game against the Saints, Jalen's the one that checked to that play with the big Dallas Goedert play towards the end of the game. Jalen's the one that, saw the defense was doing and switched the play. It seems like he has a lot more control and he's kind of getting more comfortable in this offense. I just cool. I believe you said it last week. He's more comfortable running whenever he has to, when it's not scripted. And I think that he should do that more. Why are we doing these QB draw plays or these scheduled runs for him whenever he works better, just improvising? I don't know. I just think they should let Jalen go out there and ball his way instead of forcing different plays or forcing things that weren't working, just like last year. And I mean, it seems like we're making a lot of the same mistakes from last year. There's just more, as far as the defense is concerned, the defense is, actually adjusting, where we're not getting any type of adjustments, which we complained about all last year. And we're falling into a lot of the same traps when we shouldn't be, because we actually have a, veteran offensive coordinator and you just don't trust him for some reason.
So I'm going to answer my own question with yes, we can win with both. Very simple. Wyatt actually alluded to it in his soliloquy. Jalen Hurts has the ability to call an audible. So when you walk up to the line and you hear a stupid play in your ear, don't run the stupid play. Audible out of the stupid play. Because let's think about it here as rational fans. And I'm the first one to be like, yo, rationality is not always there. Okay. But as a rational fan, going forward on the fourth downs was not the problem. The plays that were called were the problem. Correct? So if we have a quarterback that says, you know what, I know this dude is telling me to do this, but I know it's not going to work, we're going to do the regular tush push. I know he called for the fake one. We're going to do the regular one. And do it. 4th and 3. 4th, you know what I'm saying? 3rd and 6 or whatever. And he calls a 3-yard pass play in the red zone. Audible into the I-form, go into the I-form package, right? Audible into that. And do a halfback power. Because you got the running back for that. That's the kind of thing that I think needs to happen. Sometimes you have guys that are going to do stupid things. We can argue if it's sabotage, if it's just idiocy. I think we all know something wrong. You're the last person that can clean this up, Jalen. You're the guy. And that's one of the reasons why you were my weakest link. You're the guy who can say this is not going to work. We're not doing it. That's what we need. But yes, we can win with both of them. You know why? Nick's limited in what he can even do because he has a limited understanding. Right? He can't do anything on special teams. He can't do anything on defense because he knows nothing about them. He has limited understanding to help at all anyway. But I will admit, if we're going to run Nick Sirianni plays, it's going to be a problem. But we can get out of those most of the time. That's what we got to do. I've been saying it since last year. Jalen, you're the coach on the field. You're the quarterback. You see the field. You see this crap not going to work. Audible. That's the answer to me. We had a couple of comments. So Benny says, this is what Jalen needs to do. Just take what the defense gives you. Dump pass is always there for you. They're there sometimes, Benny, I would say. Because there's times when they try to bait him, and he's getting better at not being baited into throwing it to the side, a little screen of the dump pass and losing 4 yards. Mm-hmm. All right, Benny also says, put Nick in the broom closet like they did Howie. we need to put him in the mop closet with the drain. Benny says, yes, the Eagles can win a Super Bowl with Jalen, but not with Nick. I mean, I'm not really disagreeing with that opinion, just offering a different perspective. The last thing I'd want to say on this particular subject. Nick gets a lot of grief. Nick deserves a lot of grief. Jalen gets a lot of grief. Some of that he deserves as well. Kellen Moore, where are you at in this process, bro? Like, if I'm Kellen Moore and I'm taking this job, I'm thinking to myself, all right, there'll be times where Nick might say, I want to do this play. I want to go for it on fourth. I want to do this. But at the end of the day, where's the Nick that doesn't make sense? We shouldn't do that. That's why you're the OC, bro. That's why you're the OC. You got to be the buffer. Anybody who wants to sit here and pretend that Nick and Jalen are on the same page and all that, I've got some popsicles and some cotton candy and some caramel popcorn, and some Frosties and Ices and stuff for you because you live in a fairy tale land. You don't live in the real world. Those two guys don't really get along. They have a mutually beneficial respect for each other because head coach and the quarterback. But I see him talking to Kellen Moore a lot now. It's just something there that just doesn't click 100%. That's fine. You can win Super Bowls without liking your coach and quarterback being that tight. But just, hey, yeah, me and Jalen, we do what we need to do. Don't try to act like your best friends. Everybody knows you're not. Anything else you guys want to add before we move on to our last topic?
I mean, I just think that by Kellen being the new guy, he's not going to come in and just be like, hey, you ain't supposed to be doing this. My job. Like, I feel like, I think maybe next year, if he doesn't go up for a head coaching job, then he might be a little bit more vocal. But I just feel like, when you're the new guy on the block, you can't just come in. I guess maybe you just feel like he can't come in demanding stuff. I mean, if it was me, I would go have a conversation with the owner like, yo, well, you hired me to, do the play calling and you still got Nick calling plays, that I didn't call. And then, it's causing us to not put points on the board. Yeah, I go have a conversation with Howie and the owner. But I just feel like maybe he just feel like that's not his position right now since he just got here. Like, you don't want to just go in bulldozing. I mean, you can tell Kellen Moore doesn't have that type of personality to go and just off the bat be like, yo, what's going on here? So, I think eventually he might go say something, but I just don't see that coming from Kellen Moore right now. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's something we saw with Steichen. Steichen was able to do that, I think, because he was pretty close with Sirianni before he even had the job. So I think he was more comfortable being like, hey, that's not going to work, dude. We should run this. And Nick was like, oh, he kind of respects his opinion a little bit more because they were tight. Whereas, like, yeah, you bring in somebody new to the offense, even though you brought him in to do a job, you should listen to him and listen to their opinion. Nick's going to, think he's better than anybody else, think his idea is smartest. So he's going to try to go with his.
Well, what I'm saying, just to clarify, is not saying we're not going to run your play, but, bro, that's not a good play. Why don't we do this instead? And here's why.
Right. But Nick's probably not going to listen to that. Like, Nick feels like he runs.
It's the fact that you're saying, it's the fact that you're going to him and saying, hey, look, man, we need to try something different. Because at the end of the day, Nick will stand up there and say, oh, I called these 4 plays and they didn't work and that's on me. But if this team does not perform well because of the offense, who's going to be the one that's going to be under fire?
It's going to be the offensive coordinator. But I feel like he does that. I feel like Brian Johnson did that. But Nick didn't listen to him because if Nick doesn't respect you like that or feel like you're below him, I don't think he's going to listen to you. Like I could see Kellen Moore going to say that to him possibly. He might have already done that and he's not listening to him. Of course he listened to Steichen, but Nick just has that aura about him. Like you're beneath.
But here's the difference. You gotta remember, there's one thing that did happen. Nick wanted Kellen Moore. So if you want to bring in a coach and you're not going to listen to him, then you should be jettisoned from any ability to do anything with the team. Right? This is not a guy that was on the staff that you elevated. There was an extensive search, many great candidates. Nick, along with Howie, picked this particular person.
But you also got to remember, Steichen had a lot to do with bringing in, like giving them the lineup. And Nick probably was like, yeah, let's go with Kellen. But I don't think Nick himself, like he probably was like, yeah, but Steichen was still helping them find the coach. And so Nick probably did agree with it because he's close with Steichen. Like he respects Steichen. But I don't think if it was just Steichen didn't have anything to do with it, I don't think Nick would be like, yeah, let's go get Kellen Moore. This is my personal opinion.
Well, like I say, I'm going to slightly disagree with you there. This was the guy he wanted. They said in the press conference multiple times this was the guy they wanted.
And so they said a lot of shit in the press conference.
Yeah, but certain things you can feel the fluff in, and certain things you can listen to and feel like Okay, and this was a Nick and Howie press conference, so not just Nick. You got Howie. When Howie's there, he don't be doing all that. I don't want to talk about this. I'm not gonna do that. When Howie's there, he's a straight shooter. When Howie's not there, that's when you get the jerk Nick. If you haven't noticed, what I'll say is this:
Nicky tight pants.
Yeah, what I'll say is this: you're the OC. You're responsible for this team doing well or not. You're the head coach. That's cool. You want to call a play every now and then? That's cool. But what we're not gonna do is have you ruin my drives consistently, week 1 to week 18. Of course, you got about week 5, but week 1 to week 18, and I'm gonna sit over here and not say anything. I'm coming to you and saying, look, we gotta do something different, man. You've been running these plays for weeks, they're not working. We gotta do something different. If he's not gonna do that, he will never be a head coach in this league because he'll never have a sack big enough to do so. So that's simply what it is, in my opinion. I understand where you're coming from, but this is a guy who wants to be a head coach in the league. If you can't go to the head coach that you have now when you're supposed to be running one side of the ball and getting him from time to time, you will never be a head coach in this league because you're not going to be able to do it to other people who have been head coaches, and you're going to have to earn their respect if you don't already have it.
And that's cool. I get that, but that's what I'm saying. Like, even though he wanted that dude, it's still to a point that he doesn't respect him because he didn't do that with Steichen. Period.
Well, I mean, I can't say he doesn't respect him because
or he doesn't trust him fully. It's something that Nick is not trusting in order for him to be taking over. Yeah,
fully yet. I can agree with that, but you got to earn it. You the OC, you got to earn it. That's where I have to put some thought on Steichen. I mean, not Steichen. You got me thinking about Shane Steichen on Kellen Moore. You know what I'm saying? Because Nick's like, yeah, I call it play as me. You know, that's fine. But if that continues to build, Nick's not going to say, oh, yeah, I know when to call a play. Don't fire him, fire me. No, Nick's going to be like, hey.
Yeah, he's going to throw him under the bus.
So you understand that. You got to approach this a certain way from day one. You got to play chess. Don't play checkers. You got to play chess. This is his chance to move and get a head coaching job. We won a Super Bowl this year. Not saying that we will, but if we win a Super Bowl this year, that's going to be the best chance that Kellen Moore has ever had to be a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
If we go out there and lose games because the offense puts up 16 points and we keep turning the ball over and not taking points when we should, he's not a good opportunity. So don't let this dude stop your possible opportunities, Kellen Moore.
Can we please take analytics out of football? I hate it. I can't stand it with these numbers. What the numbers say, F them numbers. It's common sense. Common sense. Either we gonna go for this field goal and take these 3 points, or we gonna run something sensible for a 4-for-1. You can't get 1 yard. Touch push gets us 2 to 3 yards. Saquon can get a yard by himself. Jalen can get a yard by himself. All we gotta do is push with this dude. Regular quarterback sneak, he'll get it. Wow, we gotta put numbers, analytics, and everything. That grinds my gears so bad. That's why Brandon Staley got fired and saying with the Chargers. Numbers, analytics, F them analytics.
The only bad thing about that is Jeff Lurie's son is the head of analytics. So until Jeff Lurie sells that team, analytics is always going to be a play in the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah. Well, I mean, someone needs to tell Nick that you don't have to be aggressive the whole game. You can pick and choose to be aggressive at certain points. You don't have to go for it on fourth every single time.
Y'all didn't learn
that's just how dumb he is. He doesn't understand when to be aggressive and when not to.
Exactly.
He just wants to be cute all the time and then take the credit when stuff goes well. Oh yeah, we did magic.
Y'all didn't watch the Lions and Dan Campbell in the NFC Championship game. Want to go for it every fourth.
You know, King, now you know Nick does not watch no daggone film.
This is true, because if he did, maybe he'll learn something, a thing or two.
Kellen Moore just needs to hang up some of Nick's plays he draws up on the fridge at NovaCare Complex, make him feel special. Then he can call his own plays.
Like, if you don't take this, stop asking Madden for please, because that's where you get them.
Yeah. That's what Nick's doing on the tablet the whole game. Ask Madden.
Kellen Moore just need to trick him and be like, yeah, I'm going to use that play. And then use something different.
Ask Madden on easy mode.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw it out there. You know what I'm saying?
If it was Nick, we'd just be doing QB draws and screens all day.
Listen.
You definitely can tell it's a Nick
RPR,
thing.
run pass run.
Yeah.
Yeah, run pass run. Not run pass play option, run pass run.
You
And then
definitely
just
know when
sticks.
it's Nick.
Just have
You
him
see
go
a bubble
all out.
screen. You see a QB draw. I'm like, I know Kellen ain't draw that QB draw up. Like,
Yeah,
if
that's all Nick.
I hear that in my ear, I'm be like, why am I running again? We are not doing this. I'm no. We changed.
Last year got me messed up because anytime I see Jalen like in shotgun by himself, I'm like, oh, he's just gonna run this. They're gonna hike the ball and he's just gonna run it up the middle or to the side. Luckily, they haven't been doing that nearly as much this year, but it's imprinted in my brain now. Anytime Jalen's behind the line by himself, I'm expecting just a run.
I just can't get over. He said RPR like that. That was the moment for me where I was like, this dude sucks. Like you already felt that way, but like there's a moment where I'm like, this dude really sucks.
This dude's just dumb. That's how you know he don't know nothing about grown man football. That just proved it right then and there.
Or little kid football.
Right.
My son Jalen can call better. He can call better, please. And he's a center. He's a center.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put that man on hard mode. They'll call better plays. Oh man. We be getting that, Nick. But the real talk though, Nick, you be doing stuff like you be deserving it, bro. Real talk,
Yeah,
you deserve it.
Put this on yourself.
Yeah, we don't be just coming at you like you asked for it, and we just give you what you asked for because you.
He asked for it. No, because at first he was like, yeah, he gets the team motivated because he wasn't calling no plays. As soon as he started calling the plays, he was like, oh, here we go.
Benny says, tell Nick to go home and plant some flowers and talk high school football with his brother.
Facts. Tell him, Benny.
And
That's exactly what he did.
Over a cold one.
Great.
With his tight pants on. So guys, we're going to hit another commercial break. And we're going to come back and we're going to preview for you the match game. Week 4. Eagles. Bucks.
Oh, yes. The tradition, the pageantry, the spectacle, the history, the slut. Wait. I gotta rep my brother's stuff right. All my DMV soldiers, stand up! And welcome to the Commander's Gridiron Report. You want your commanders to be repped right? Well, D. Willie is your man. Commander's Gridiron Report. Every Tuesday at 11:05 a.m. Eastern, 10:05 a.m. Central on the Sotoba Media YouTube channel. Music by J. Cool.
Where my soldiers, right side, commanders. Where my
Rams fans all around the world.
It's a beautiful thing to be a Rams fan right now. Stafford's back. We will see about Cup. And running back Kerryon Williams to return.
Lend me your ears, or should I say lend Playmaker your ears, as he breaks down week by week everything in the Los Angeles Rams canon.
Number 99, Aaron Donald. Can't wait for 2029 to come to know that you are going in the Hall of Fame, and it should be first ballot, no questions asked.
Join the Playmaker as he breaks down everything Los Angeles Rams style in Ramily Talk on the Playmakers Blog Network YouTube channel and where you can find podcasts. Join Ryan McCarthy.
I became a Jets fan because Kermit the Frog was my favorite Muppet because he was green, and the Jets wore green. That's how I became a Jets fan.
And Dustin Henry.
ESPN is cashing all in on let's pay a few personalities and we'll just kind of fill in the gaps.
As they walk you through all of the world of sports from their perspective.
The Albany Empire, it's a literal circus.
No credentials required. Where, Ryan, say the tag.
Where you don't need a press pass to talk sports.
Live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on YouTube and where you can find podcasts. Whether it's news, the largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant, weather, devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States, inspiration, a breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy and now begins a future one of matrimony or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another Beating a Dead Horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network proudly presents The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson, live every weekday morning beginning April 29th at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. New Kids on the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason Whitlock.
Want to shout out 502 Angel Radio. You're listening to us there. If you're listening to this show anywhere besides youtube.com, type in Eagles Elite Podcast. We would greatly appreciate it if you were to go and hop on there. If you're watching anywhere besides Shady Sports Network, same thing as Shady Sports Network. So we here, y'all. We here. So let's start it off just like this. We'll go around Key Diva. We'll just swing all the way around like that. Offense versus defense. Our defense versus their offense. Who has the advantage in your mind and why?
You starting with me?
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
All right, so let's see. So got Baker Mayfield. We all know Baker has his moments where he's good, and then he has his moments where definitely he can be thrown off. Got Mike Evans, who's older receiver, but every season he has 1,000 yards. So I got nothing but respect for Mike Evans. Running game, got that advantage. Receivers wise, right now, we depleted. So you might can say you get an advantage to them. Quarterback, I feel like Jalen's better than Baker. Their defense is okay. But I it should be overall a good game. I like our chances with Tampa Bay, even without a receiving core. Just the next man up mentality has to step up. Get Dallas Goddard involved more. Hopefully, in the words of Sandra Bullock in The Blind Side, just run the dang ball. Just run the dang ball. Saquon will save us. But I understand, not limiting him to a bunch of carries because this was his history. But with our offensive line, I feel like he can do anything. We've seen it so far. He's leading the league in rushing, even though it's only 321. But still, I feel like Saquon's going to have about 1,200. He can have 10 touchdowns easily this season. But if we run the ball successfully, no turnovers by Jalen Hurts. Good, smart decision making. Defense be on point. I like our chances. I'm not saying a blowout, but we can get some high numbers on them in the first half. Play all 4 quarters of solid football, not half. Take a half off and then try to come back in the second half, or come out like last year. We was good in the first half, in the second half we couldn't do nothing. So let's not revert to that. Solid football, all 4 quarters, 60 minutes of clean football, turnover free, just smart decision making. We easily come in this game, but I like the Eagles here over Tampa.
So this is not the Eagles team from last year. I mean, sometimes we might see a little glimpse of that, but this is not the Eagles team that Baker Mayfield played last year. Defense is a lot better. We know how to adjust as long as we come with that mental mind frame like we did on Sunday. And as far as the offense goes, I mean, it's easy. Like I've been saying, just hold on to the ball, make smart plays. We know that, we don't have AJ or Devontae. So, next man up, Dallas Goddard played wonderful this week. And I think as long as Jalen's going to have to get used, this game is going to make him get used to using other people besides Devontae. and AJ. So you got Dotson, you got Watson. So you've got players that can make plays. So we just have to have everybody step up on the offense. The O-line has been doing wonderful. Cam Jurgens, Fred Johnson, all of them have been doing wonderful. So we just need for our targets to be able and run the ball. I mean, you got Saquon, run the ball. You know what I'm saying? Just run the ball down their throats this game. I think that this really needs to be a run-heavy game since we have so many injuries. And I think that's what win the game. I mean, the defense, as long as they play like they did Sunday, Baker Mayfield ain't getting nothing. So don't act like you don't think you about to get that D that you got last year where there was no pressure on you, buddy, because you really ain't that tall. So you got the big boys up in your face. We ain't about to let you get off like that. So the key is for the defense to play like they did Sunday. And then the offense just to take care of the ball and run the ball. What? Oh, you, my brother?
I mean, I think I would give our defense the edge in this one. I mean, overall, I think the Bucks, they're a little banged up as of right now. But I think, like Dee was saying, if our defense can play and adjust like they were doing last week, I'd give us a good edge. I mean, Baker got sacked a bunch of times this past week. So, I mean, even if our edge rushers aren't doing much like they were these past couple weeks, we should be able to create pressure from the middle of the line there with like Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis like last week. Hopefully we can get another performance from Carter like we have been. The offense, depending on the injury status for the Bucks, I would give them just a slight edge. Because I do see that Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are both questionable as of right now. They're dealing with some injuries, so maybe we might luck out with one of those guys being out. But they do have Rashad White who can run. But I mean, our run defenses look decent over this past week, so hopefully we are able to stop their run, get some pressure on Baker Mayfield. The big question is what our offense is going to be able to do, because it's looking like we're going to be without AJ, we're going to be without Devontae, we're going to have Dotson as like our number one receiver, which we haven't really seen too much of him, so he's going to have to show up and show out. And then you're looking at like who else we got? Johnny Wilson and Paris Campbell. Maybe John Ross is going to be activated for the game. I can expect us maybe running more 2 tight end sets, get Calcaterra more involved with Goddard. But like Devo was saying, we need to utilize the run. We need to make our offense go through the run game. We can't be just passing all the time like we have been over the past couple weeks. We need to get Barkley going from the first quarter. We can't be waiting to use him. If you want to make sure that he's staying healthy, utilize, Shipley and Gainwell more if you have to. Rotate them out. We haven't really seen them rotating these backs first couple games of the season. Start rotating because you need these running backs in this game. It's going to be hard to really take the ball deep, take top off the defense, or utilize a lot of big plays as far as the pass game is concerned with your star players missing. I mean, you may be able to get a couple with Goddard, maybe Dotson, but it's going to be a lot harder than it was previously here. So, I mean, I would give the Bucks the slight edge on offense, but I mean, as long as they utilize a run and the defense plays like last week, we shouldn't have too much of a problem as long as we make smart decisions in situational, situations. And now I'm looking at you, Nick. We've been talking about you here for a while. So, I mean, as long as the coaching can be somewhat decent and Jalen is able to have a turnover-free game, this should be decent. This should be a nice win for us.
You on mute, bro.
Offensively, I'm going to say run the ball. Use the strength of the offensive line. And this is the game to just don't even look at the number. Just look at who's open and give them the ball and get in that mindset. Hopefully you're more decisive on taking off, because once you take off, they can't really do anything to you for many yards. Little chicanery, a little trickery, maybe end around it too. See if we can get some things going. Maybe we give a guy like John Ross, who has exceptional speed, a little end around, and see if he can get some yards out of it, something like that. I do agree with Wyatt. I think he'll have to be elevated because you'll want guys that have experience to be elevated over a guy like Aeneas Williams, who hasn't really, got a lot of opportunity to play. Defensively, do what you did last week. Do what you did last week. That was good enough to win. And if the offense was better, we wouldn't even gave up as many points as we did. I just want to thank Key, for hopping on with us, talking some Eagles. Always want to thank Wyatt and Diva, because without them, I'd be up here by myself, which could be fun at times, but at times, y'all don't just want to hear me out. Nobody does. I don't even want to hear me all day. So, yeah, another game. Hopefully, we end this 3-1. The bounce back is real, y'all. Like, if we can get through this game and then the bye week, we definitely have AJ back. I don't know about Devontae because he should be back by then, but even if for some reason just he's not passing all the neurological stuff and he has to sit out longer, we can get AJ. That makes a big difference. As of now, Goddard is questionable. So hopefully he'll get to play.
Oh,
But
Lord.
he was just made questionable today. And I know that because I have him on fantasy. So we'll see how that rolls out. It's probably just, something that's happened and he's a little sore. So hopefully he'll be able to get out there because I am we really, really, really in trouble. But I think he'll play. And, they have receivers. Just assume they have all their people because that's normally what happens when you play us and we're hurt. You just got to play, right? We do our thing. Glad that the defense looks like it did last week. Hungry, angry. The young boys ready to play. Juice is excited. We shouldn't have a problem getting a victory here. Now, it's open to anybody. Any last words, Philadelphia Eagles, before we get up out of here?
Go play like y'all supposed to play this week. Let's have a balanced game. Go Birds.
Please. Fly, Eagles, fly. You got a video that's going to say what I want to say, though.
Key, anything you want to add, or are you good to go?
Yeah, we're good to go. I mean, defense, just everybody do their job. That's all. Do your job. I understand, rookies get put in situations, but we've seen rookie break out. I think we could see a nice little Johnny Wilson sighting. He catch a couple balls or so. But I see some promise in the kid. Like I said, I'm not going to bash him because he was, he missed that catch. If the ball's in your hands, to touch your hands, you're supposed to grab it. But I'm not going to be like, oh my gosh, he's trash. He's a rookie. But everybody do their job and let's get this dub.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, for your boy Clue McCain, for Wyatt, for Key, for the Diva, Tampa Bay. And make sure you tell 4 of your friends, as well as 4 people who may not like you. And the 4 friends may or may not really be your friends, to come check out Eagles Elite. Just because they don't like you doesn't mean they won't like us. And as always, it's never where you start. It's always where you finish. No intro because we needed them seconds to really get into this today. But we got to get a little bit of that. So we'll get a little bit going out. So good people, see you back next week. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what the spot is. Y'all know where to be. Let's get it.